Yo guys, what's going on? My name is HackingIsFreedom, and on this episode of Beta Talk, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has come a long way since its original release on COD 4 Modern Warfare. Released in 2011, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has definitely been cut. A lot of the content has definitely been removed from this game. So we are going to be talking about what exactly has been removed and for what reasons. A lot of weapons from Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 are actually left over in this game. The AUG from Modern Warfare 2, the AK-74U from Black Ops 1, the AT-4, the F-2000, the Gold Desert Eagle, the Intervention, the Lee Enfield, the M9, the M21 EBR, the M40 A3, the M39 Raffica, the M240, the M249 SAW, the M1014, the M1911, the MG42, the MK12 SPR, MP44, the PP2000, the R700, the Ranger, the RPD, the TAR-21, the TMP, the Vector, and the WA-2000. Now, if you guys are hardcore Call of Duty fans, I'm pretty sure you guys know which ones were from which game. Obviously, the WA-2000 was from Modern Warfare 2, along with quite a few that I listed off. Although there's actually surprisingly some weapons that have been cut from the Call of Duty World at War game, which was the MG42. Surprisingly, the only thing that remains of the World at War weapon is the HUD icon. Nothing else remains, no data, no nothing else, basically just a picture of for the HUD. A few other things to note from the previous games: the Dragunov has been removed, the Barrett 50 cal from Modern Warfare 2 has been removed, and the Silence USP from Call of Duty 4 has also been removed. Now, something a bit interesting, unused perks. Now, for whatever reason, these perks have not made it into the final release, mainly because they were just used as some perks were used as test perks that have now evolved into like Marathon and whatnot. So, yeah. So there was a perk called the Remote MG Turret. Basically, it shares a similar visual styles of the perk images with the first two Modern Warfare games. I assume that this was going to be a remote sentry perk that was going to be used in multiplayer. So if you had this perk, you can put down a sentry and you can remote control it from wherever you currently are. The next one is a Akimbo perk. So I'm guessing this was supposed to be used for pistols. If you put this perk on, whatever pistol you had in your secondary weapon would become dual wield. The next one, which is pretty strange, is a Tactical Insertion perk. For some reason, they had this in the beta, but which is obviously removed in the final game. But it would basically act exactly like a Tactical Insertion, but without having the insertion on your equipment, it would just be a perk. Next is the Black Box perk, which would increase the airtime of kill streaks. So basically, if you got like an attack chopper, if you got a support hind or whatever, basically this Black Box perk would extend the time that it would be in the air. Now this next one, I don't really see why it was cut. This would have been pretty damn cool. This one is called the Challenger perk, which basically allows the player to have double XP at extremely low health. Now that's pretty damn cool, but again, I don't really see the need to either have it or the need to even have it being cut. For some reason, it would be just a cool little option. Like, I'm not sure if too many people would actually use it, but I have figured like it's a pretty cool perk just to have, there waiting for you. The next strange one is actually an Extended Mags perk. Now this has probably just been used for testing purposes, but instead of the actual attachment of your gun, this would just be a perk. Next up is the Free Runner perk, which basically was the Marathon perk from Modern Warfare 2, and it also has the exact same image from the Modern Warfare 2 perk, except it's just yellow. Now once again, this one is pretty strange. I don't really see why they would have it, but this next perk is called Shell Shock, and basically it would give you a riot shield either on your player's back or just to pop it right in front of you. And I don't see why they would need this if the riot shield is already a weapon. But I would assume it has been cut for balancing factors, because I mean, if you had this, they could just pop it up, and it's kind of like the gobble gum. You could just, equip it, and then it would just be there. So that's pretty stupid if you ask me. The next one is also probably used as a test/developer little option, which is the Javelin ×1 perk. So basically this would just give you a javelin with 1 missile, but the main reason why this was probably cut because the javelin is already a create class item in Modern Warfare 3. So the best guess is it was probably just the development version from the original Modern Warfare, just to use as a placeholder. And along with the Javelin perk, we got the Stinger ×2 perk. It would act the same way to the Javelin ×1 perk, but instead of 1 missile, it would give you 2 missiles, and it would be a third toggleable weapon. Now this one's pretty strange because it looks like an assassin perk, but that's not the case. This one is actually a perk called Heartbreaker. This one basically just keeps you off the heartbeat sensors of enemies, and it's similar to the Modern Warfare 2 Ninja perk. It basically does the exact same thing, but for some reason it has a ninja logo and it's called Heartbreaker, so okay. The next perk we have is Siege. Now this basically immobilize your target, so it gives you greater accuracy, but it also slows you down massively. So I thought this was used on the enemy, which would kind of make sense, but it's used on yourself. So I don't know why you would want to use this, but apparently that was going to be a planned feature to basically slow your character down to like a fucking crawl, but have like amazing accuracy. The next perk is called Endgame, I'm pretty sure. This Endgame perk apparently multiplies the user's health by 4 at the cost of only having a 10-second lifespan. So basically it was pretty pointless, but it would have been pretty cool to have ×4 health in the last 10 seconds of your game, which, again, it's only 10 seconds, but I could see that being pretty crazy, because if like a good amount of people had this on and it's like the last 10 seconds nobody would die, everyone's just trying to shoot each other, but it's like, oh my god. The next perk we have is Burst Fire. Now it's basically the exact same as what it says. It's a perk that bursts fires weapons. No idea why you would want this, but there's already burst fire weapons, and I'm pretty sure to select the fire in that game, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, basically this burst fire perk would allow your weapon to be automatic or burst fired. And the last perk on our list is Any 2. So basically this perk was just used to have, I guess, your second perk as 2. So it would take over your first slot, so you would have no first perk, 2 second perks, and a third perk. Weapon camos. Now, these are the actual, there's only 8 that have been cut, but these are all of these are the same that were from Modern Warfare 2. We got the Arctic, Blue Tiger, Desert, Digital, Woodland, Red Urban, Red Tiger, and Orange Fall. All of those are the exact same on Modern Warfare 2, but for some reason it just does not work, so yeah. These camos can also be modded into the game by using the AUG, so you have to mod the AUG into the game and these camos. But as soon as you mod the AUG into the game, these camos are on it anyways. So these are obviously a leftover from Modern Warfare 2 if they only appear on the AUG assault rifle. Something that is pretty interesting, the ACR has an unused camo that really doesn't have a name. We're not quite sure if it is an early version of the snow or the winter camo, but it's some sort of white camo that just does not fully, I guess, render. It might even be the cut Arctic camo, but again, it's kind of unconfirmed. So basically, if you get an ACR, and I guess I'm assuming you're going to have to mod it, and it would show up as a camo that's just white. But like I said, it could be just an early version of the snow, winter, or it could even be the Arctic camo from Modern Warfare 2. Moving on to some cut levels. Okay, so first on our list of cut levels, we have Brooklyn. Now, this is kind of funny because it's kind of like just a placeholder text, but it's also kind of slightly offensive, at least I think. Moving on to the coast map. Now, a preview image is quite larger than any other map preview, but it's definitely way unfinished, and that basically explains why it has never made it into the actual game. Okay, the next one is called Alps. Now, this is actually pretty funny because it shows how like developers also have their kind of jokes while they're working on their games. So this one is called Alps, and it has some very, very strange textures, so it was probably cut pretty early in development. But the map's description says Kyle's first map. So I kind of find that funny that he's just like, oh my god, it's Kyle's first map. So I mean that just shows right there that even developers and coders have some fun while making their games. The next one on our list is called Metera, and basically this is a highly unfinished map, but it's basically the DLC map Sanctuary. It has all the same effects, but again, it's highly unfinished. Very small buildings, a very blocky preview picture, very blocky preview picture, and all the textures are smooth, so which is basically unfinished, and it's just a highly unfinished map of the DLC map Sanctuary. Next on our list is the Plaza map. Now this is just honestly a beta version of the map Arcadian. It's the exact same, just other placements and other textures are just slightly different from the finished map. Next on our list, which I would have loved to see in Modern Warfare 3, Rust. Now, I was actually going to freak out when I heard this. I mean, that's amazing. Like, I know how many players on Modern Warfare 2 love the map Rust, and it was supposed to be in this game. The preview of the image is right here, but that would have been so cool to have. Like, I would have loved to, like, quick scope with the L115 on fucking Rust. That would have been great. Next on our list is Crash. Now, basically, this is a leftover from Modern Warfare 2, which is a remake of a COD 4 map. And basically, that's the name, but it doesn't have, like, the name into the third game, if you know what I mean. Like, it's called Crash, but we can't get into it to actually see what it is. This right here is the load screen from Modern Warfare 2 of the remake of COD 4. But again, there's no proof of what it actually looks like. That's just a picture, basically like a placeholder. So yeah, that's the map Crash. Next one is the Crossfire map, which again, nobody knows what it looks like, but this is the picture of the loading screen, and it's leftover from Call of Duty 4. Once again, moving on to the leftovers, High Rise. Once again, this is the loading screen, which is a leftover from Modern Warfare 2. And the next leftover map is Strike. Once again, this is the loading screen, which is a leftover from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Okay, this is really an interesting one. Like, this is pretty weird and, like, just interesting in general. This one right here is called Warlord, and as you can see, it's an actual picture of a very busy market. I don't know where. It could be Brazil. It's some sort of foreign city, so I'm not quite sure. But for some reason, this map right here has the name compass_map_warlord.iwi. This map was apparently a map compass for the campaign mission back on Grid, and basically this would load as a placeholder just in case something basically got wrong, or as an early placeholder, because sometimes if a game does like severely glitch, it'll go to its placeholder to avoid like complete destruction. Here's another map called Overgrown. As you can see, this is the loading screen for Overgrown, and I am not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure this is a leftover from COD 4. It looks like, I'm not sure what that map is called because I haven't played COD 4 in so long, but it definitely looks like a map from COD 4. I just can't remember what it was called, but that's Overgrown. Now moving on to some more interesting stuff, we have some cut endings and other sound effects. So basically there are exits within the IWD archives of the game, 3 unused files which have meant to be used within the last mission of the game, but again, for some reason they have been cut. It may have been for an alternate or even extended version of the ending of the game, but once again, nobody knows, so I'm just going to leave you with the awesome sound waves. The first one is, for some reason, titled BT_Dubai_finale_ominous_stranger.mp3. The next one is called Dubai_Shadowman_enter.uav. And once again, the last one is Dubai_Shadowman_exit.wav. Moving on to cut Spec Ops Missions. Okay, the first one on our list is actually pretty cool. It's called Defend_Ferris. So judging by this picture here, it looks like you would have to defend this Ferris wheel. Now, I'm not sure what you would have to do and why would people want to attack a Ferris wheel to begin with, but whatever, I'm not the developers. So basically, there is one file called so_defend_Ferris_lobby, so that would be the lobby of the Defend Ferris wheel, and another named so_DLC1.iwi. So I'm assuming this was supposed to be a DLC, but this is the image that was on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was COD 4. So it looks like it was supposed to be part of DLC, but apparently it just did not make it, and they didn't want to I guess, develop it any further, so they just simply destroyed it. Next up, and the only other one, is Assault Mine. Now, this is the lobby image, which is some similarities to the Spec Ops mission Fire, but again, nothing else is known from this. Moving on to a pretty interesting one. This is a unused game type. Now, for some reason, it's called Grinder, and this is going to be the video along with it. But the cool thing is that Grinder is an early name for the game mode Drop Zone. So I'm going to leave you with this awesome video.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area!
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area.
Grinder. Hardcore Grinder. Get to the target area!
Okay, moving on to a unused model, and this is the only unused model, which is kind of sad. But anyways, it is I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'm assuming it's a Yuri. So this is Yuri's No Russian model. And during the flashback to No Russian, Yuri has a unique third-person model that can only be seen by basically using cheats. But for some reason, the interesting part is this character model is complete. Usually when you use cheats to become in third person in any single player mission, basically their models will turn into a default multiplayer model, but their heads will be missing. And that's why it's interesting, because this model is fully complete in third person. And once again, the question is, why would you make this fully complete and a secret model if nobody was meant to see it? Moving on to some awesome cut graphics. Alright, the first one on our graphics list is an exclamation mark. For some reason it is named Party Chat, so it looks like maybe that would be someone is talking. Fuck do I know. Next one is an explosion, which would be shown on the minimap, as well as a grenade that would be shown on the minimap. For some reason, there is a Harrier kill icon from Modern Warfare 2, but another interesting thing is that the sound files of the Harrier being called in is still in Modern Warfare 3. And again, another interesting leftover is the attack helicopter kill icon from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And the next one is this is two different ones actually. Two different minimap icons for the IMS. I'm assuming the green one would be for friendly and the red one would be for the enemy. Two kill feed icons for the MP5 is also in the game. One with a silencer and a red dot sight, and the other one is just completely standard with a silencer and a thermal sight. Moving on to the RPG D-pad icon from COD 4. I don't know why that's in here, but it was. Alrighty, moving on to something pretty cool, which is unused cutscene. And for some reason, this cutscene right here that I'm going to be playing in just a few seconds does not have any sound. So, you know, don't think it's your speakers or your computer fucking up. This video right here does not have any sound. And for some reason, it's at the end of the crew expendable mission from the first game that was intended for the prologue of Modern Warfare 3. So, I'll show you this right now. Anyways guys, that is all I have for you on the development of Modern Warfare and all the stuff that has been removed in Modern Warfare 3. If you enjoyed this episode of Beta Talk, definitely smash that like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, my friends.